folks, how you going? Welcome to the brewery. Brew day today, and today I'm locking up a beer, a bit of a commemoration of the recent Beer Monsters Barossa Valley road trip. Got a few things here which are going into that beer. So this is a beer focused around the trip, South Australia, and one or two of the experiences we had while we're down there. So what I've got here in this bucket, 2 kilos of Heritage Clipper malt. This is a old style barley which has been resurrected by someone in South Australia. Ryan got this via the University of South Australia where they were doing trials, and he sent some to us up to the Beer Monsters. He sent us 2 kilos each, and I think he scored like a 10 kilo bag or something of it. But I've had this sitting here since and I've never used it. This is still sealed. This is a brand new little bucket. It's sealed. I don't know that it's actually airtight, but either way, I've got to crack it open to get into it. But 2 kilos of malt in there, so I'm going to use that. While we're there, I went to the service station one morning before we got out off for the day. Spotted some the local South Australian spring water from Mount Lofty Ranges. So I grabbed 2 packs of that, 20 litres of water. I thought, yeah, the initial thought was just, I'm going to take it home, I'll just make a beer with some of the South Australian water. Sort of dawned on me halfway through that process that I had this South Australian grain sitting there. While we're at Western Ridge brewing on the Sunday, Matty discovered a sour beer that he liked. He doesn't normally like sour beers, but he discovered one he liked. A cucumber and watermelon. And rose water, but he sort of liked the flavour he was getting from the cucumber, and shocked him because he really wasn't a big fan of sours up to that. I've had some cucumber sours in the past. I didn't mind them either, so I thought, okay, well, let's do that. And on top of that, after I got home, not long, only maybe about actually, in all honesty, it was actually probably the day, like the day I got back, like the next day. I've gone to the fridge. I had these in the fridge, the old burger pickles, Felbergs, and I went in the fridge and there was a brand new jar of them sitting on the shelf. And I sort of picked it out, and I noticed that behind it was this jar that was empty. Oh, it's got 2 pickles, 2 slices in there still. But I thought straight away, put them there, you probably can't even fucking see it up there, but anyway, there's 2 slices and I thought, straight away I thought, that cucumber sour, cucumber, dill pickle sour. It's a bit of a rage at the moment, so we're normally, I think they're generally using pickling spices in the boil to get that pickle juice effect. I'm going for the actual real pickle juice, so that's going to be that. And I'm going to sour it up with a pack of the Wild Brew Sour Pitch. Now, this was given to me by Mike out at Buller Creek a little while back to play around with. He had a few bunches out there. And I'm not sure if he's actually used it as yet or not. But 1 pack there, that's enough for it's enough for plenty of beer, and I've got plenty there to use. It's just on its best before, and there's a pack of it's nutritional yeast, active dried nutritional yeast, so a bit of food that goes into the boil that goes along with that. So that's going to get me souring. I had initially thought about doing just a simple Philly sour, but I don't have any Philly sour left. I've used or given away all the packs I had. So that's where we're going. So I'm about to get this water into the Robo Brew, get it warming up. While that's happening, I'll get this grain. First of all, I'm going to get it open, which is going to be a fight, but I'll get it open, I'll get it milled, and we'll get it on. We'll come back and have a look at exactly what's going into the mash. Righto. We're up the temp. 65 degrees, mash in. Just keep it fairly simple. I've got my grain. As I said, 2 kilos of the Heritage Clipper, which on its own really isn't going to be enough to get much done. So I've added 700 grams of Voyager unmodified Pilsner and 275 grams of Carra rye. So keeping it fairly simple, but still, that rye can add a little bit of spice, a little bit of richness, without overpowering too much. So this will mash for 40 minutes at 65, then I'll ramp it up to about 74 for mash out, and that'll be it at full volume. I've got less volume than I wanted. I've got 20 litres of the water. I've worked out a 12 litre recipe. It tells me I need 21 litres pre-boil, which seems a bit excessive. I'm gonna maybe just tone the actual boil down a little bit so I don't boil off quite as much. But I've only got the 20 litres. I don't want to add any extra water to it. I'm sticking with just the South Australian water. So we'll end up with what we end up with. Target recipe gets me about a 3.7% beer, so it's fairly weak, so it's not going to hurt to come up, 5 or 6 points by losing some volume. I'm quite happy if we get up to around 4.5%, so that's not a drama. Just might mean we lose a little bit of volume, but that we'll see at the end of the day. But for now, let's leave it to mash. I am partway through the mash. I've just ramped up to 74 degrees. It's just coming up there at the moment. But I've had to do a total rethink on this brew. The wife has rang me and looks like we're going down the coast for the weekend, which means we'll be leaving here tomorrow afternoon. That's not going to work with this brew because if I'm going to pitch the sour pitch, well, that wild sour, I'm going to need to rebrew. I'm going to need to reboil this tomorrow once I hit pH. I'm going to have to. There's more work to do on this beer. It's not going to work. And not only that, I'm having a look. As I said, I've changed. I put Carra rye in. Getting samples, it's looking quite dark. So I'm thinking, the original recipe was rye, and I went to Carra because I just found the Carra rye first. And without really thinking about just how much, it's like 9.2% of the grain bill, so it is impacting the darkness, which is going to impact the flavour more than I would like. It's certainly going to be, I think, going to be too heavy base to work with the cucumber and the dill and the pickle juice. So all that together means not going to work. So I've got this brew half done. I've got the mash all but completed. I've got to do something with it. So what do we do? I've dove in. I've sat here for about 15 minutes, looking at this recipe, looking at different options, trying to work out how I was going to go about it. First thought was just run with it and drop Philly sour, but as I said, there is no Philly sour. I was hoping I might have found a packet hiding, but no, there is none. So I've got no other way of doing a sour other than traditional kettle souring. So that is not going to happen. So I've gone through, I've looked at the yeast, I've fiddled around, and what I've come back to is the hopping schedule I did back on the Black Rock Golden Ale, which I turned into an American Pale Ale in Extravaganza back in 2022. It was a while back now, but that was a really nice hop combination in that brew. So I've gone back to that, I've pulled it up, I've found the old records, don't have quite the hop combination I had there, and it's a bit varied because that was adding to a tin which is already hopped. But I've come up with a plan. So what I've got now is I will be hopping with Simcoe at 40 minutes for our bittering edition for about 12 IBU. I will then be dropping 10 grams each of Amarillo, Citra and Eldorado with 3 minutes left in the boil, and will then cool. I tossed up maybe going to a whirlpool, but nah, I'm going to go back to the boil, get a little bit of a boil in there. That's going to get me about another 8 IBU, so it's going to be about 20 IBU, so it's fairly light as far as the bitterness goes, but it's sitting against a fairly low ABV base. So I'm going to drop 100 grams each of Dex and light dry malt into the boil, just to bring the alcohol up a little bit. So I'm basically looking at, realistically, a mid-strength American Pale Ale would be the closest I could probably get. I've gone through trying to find that fits in any style, and it doesn't fit anywhere. So the closest I can get is, like I said, mid-strength American Pale Ale, because basically it sits on all that, but just underneath it. So I'm hoping the combination will work. So a little bit, there should be enough character from the rye and that little bit extra dry malt that's going to go in to balance up the hops. I'm fucking pissed about it because it now means I've used my South Australia water, I've used my South Australia bloody grain without doing the South Australia beer. But yeah, shit happens. This is what happens when you it can happen to you on the run while you on brew day. So I did toss that. I considered for about 42 seconds, just switching it off and just dumping and not worrying. But no, I can't do that. Halfway through, it's gonna happen. So the cucumber, the pickle beer will happen at a later date. I've just got to use normal ingredients that I've got here. Get myself some. Well, do it when I've got the time to actually do the souring process properly. It's been a long time since I've done a kettle sour, so I want to do that again for the video. But that's what's going on. So I'm going to finish this mash off, get the boil on, get some hopping done. I'll take a little bit of footage as we go through. Not a real lot. You know what it all looks like. We'll come back at the end and we'll have a look at what the final beer looks like and what sort of numbers we ended up with. I'll see you then. Righto, 20 minutes into the boil. That's bittering time. 6 grams of Simcoe. Righto, 10 minutes to go. Light dry malt and dextrose, 100 grams of each. I'll get the chiller in and be ready to do our 3-minute hop addition. Righto, 3 minutes to go. The chiller's in. 10 grams of Amarillo, Citra and Eldorado. 3 minutes and we'll start chilling, turn the heat off. Okay, boil's finished. Heat's off. Chiller's on. I've got the recirc arm in. I'm running that. That helps to cool it quicker because I've only got maybe half, not quite half of the immersion chiller actually in the wort. So The recirculation is going to help make sure it's getting contact, but it's also going to keep those last hops sort of in suspension a little bit and just get a little bit more, utilisation out of them while the temperature comes down. We're down to 88 already, so she's dropping pretty quick. But we're going to get an extra minute or two, maybe 3 minutes out of those hops, so it'll all help. But anyway, we got 15 litres there, so hopefully I'll get 11 litres into the fermenter. We'll soon see. Righto, we are done. We have bang on 12 litres in the fermenter at about 22 degrees. We've got a nice nice chill on. I've got a hydro sample here. There's a bit of crud in there because I've just gone straight from cooling into the fermenter. I haven't let it sit. Normally I let it sit for a bit, but I wanted to get it out as quick as I can because I'm pumping. I knew I had to go via the pump on the Robo Brew to get as much out as I could with the volume. So I didn't want to let it sit and let too much gunk get down there. So we're looking at 1040. I think recipe wise we're looking at 1041. So I'm pretty happy with that, considering we are 2 litres off where we went to start at by using that 20 litres of the spring water. So the recipe, even though I've added the extra malt and the dextrose, is still working from that original number. I haven't adjusted the settings as far as the equipment goes. I've just let it sit. So so that's all good. 1040, that'll get us maybe, get us a 4.142% beer. I'm happy enough with that. I'm happy in that range. I would have preferred maybe a 4.3, 4.4. We'll see how we go attenuation wise. Okay, the flavour's fairly light, the malt in that, which is to be expected with what's in there. There's a bit of hop presence there, which is good, without being too over the top. Hopefully that all plays out. So yeast wise, of course we've had to make the change. So California lager yeast is the option I've gone for. I've got other more specific yeast I could have used, but I've had this one sitting around for a while and I thought it's time to give it a run. And it does make a nice little beer, and I thought, given that it's not really sitting in any particular style, why not go with that? We'll go for that lagerish, hoppy sort of ale-y sort of a thing. So I've got a rehydration going here. It's not going wonderfully, as I said, because this is out of date, but it's creamed up nicely, and for now I'm going to let it sit for about another 15 minutes, just let it revigorate nicely before I pitch it into the wort, then get it into the fridge. So we'll be going for an 18 degree ferment for, I think I planned for 5 days. Yep, then we'll lump it up bloody to 22 for 4. Then I'll dry hop, which will be probably 15 grams each of Citra, Eldorado and Mosaic. That was... No, I've got Amarillo, Citra and Mosaic actually. So yes, I've dropped the Eldorado out of that first batch. Anyway, that'll happen. Cold crash for 3 days. then we'll package him up. So it's a 12-day ferment. And hopefully this one will roll over reasonably quickly. Hopefully it should only need a couple of weeks sitting in the keg from that point. So 5 weeks from now we should be into this one. So end of August, very early spring, we should be having a go at this fella. So join me then for a tasting to see how we've managed to totally turn this brew day around and whether we've come up with a bloody drinkable beer or not. So anyway, if you've got any comments or questions, stick it down the bottom, like always. Patreon to the channel, thank you very much for your support. Very, very much appreciated. Along with that, big shout out to new patron Muzz, has just joined the fray. Cheers mate, welcome aboard. I said, if you're interested in Patreon, helping the channel out, there's a link down below. Lets me do all the playing around, experimenting and stuff. If you're subscribed to the channel, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, maybe you should. That way you get notified, or if you ring the bell down there, you get notified, you don't miss any videos. And in the meantime, if you like what's going on, give me a thumbs up. All those things help Little John, they make me feel good as well, which is nice. But anyway, as for now, that's it. I'm going to go finish this fella off. Have yourself a beer or free. So until I see you on the next video, when we brew a beer, drinking beer, or talking beer, good brewing. Now I've got to work out when the hell I'm going to do this bloody actual Barossa Valley brew. Sometime.